let's talk more about this to Vinoo Varghese, who is a defence attorney and former New York prosecutor. Thank you very much for joining us on BBC News. I wondered if I could first ask you what you make of this latest post from President Trump saying that no one will be satisfied. Do you agree?
Well, he's probably right in that sense, but the issue is that he's actually now criticizing his own supporters because it's his own supporters that expected this to be released, were clamoring for it during the Biden administration for it to be released, and thought that it was a big cover-up that was preventing a lot of Democratic leaders like Bill Clinton and others from being exposed. So now he's actually telling his own followers to keep quiet. But, you know, he created this problem himself. His attorney general said the list was on her desk. So where is this list? I mean, this is a fascinating situation, both legally and politically, because his supporters seem to be turning on him.
On the legal point, he wants this grand jury testimony to be released. Just to explain to us what that grand jury would have seen, and indeed how unusual is it to release such evidence, and how hard will it be for that to happen?
I can tell you the grand jury would have seen almost nothing. Federal grand juries work in a way so that, like, for example, if you and I were FBI agents, I would say, hey, you know, you told me that something happened, and that would be enough for the case to proceed. So federal grand juries are very poor proceedings from a substantive point of view, from a legal point of view. So nothing is really discussed. Witnesses don't have to come in. So-called victims don't have to come in. What it's saying also, the chances of it getting released are almost slim or almost none, because grand jury testimony is almost never released, because the secrecy of the grand jury is such a sacrosanct thing in the United States, in the United States Code. So by him saying release the grand jury tapes, his advisors have told him to say that because there's nothing in there that's going to be of any value.
So how much pressure now is there on Pam Bondi, as you mentioned, the US Attorney General, who had talked about having those files on her desk on Fox News?
It would not surprise me if she becomes the first one to go, because something's got to be given here to keep his supporters happy, because they are the ones that played this up. So, you know, either there was no list or there is a list, and now, for whatever reason, they don't want it to be released. So, you know, when the woman says that there's a desk, I mean, you know, she's a public figure, she's an employee of government. You have to almost give her the benefit of the doubt that she was telling the truth. So if there's something on her desk, and she's not the only one. Kash Patel also had talked about this list. So, you know, this is Pam Bondi may be the first one to fall, to, you know, have somebody to blame for this.
Where do you think it will go next?
I think, just like anything else, you know, something will come up, and this will move on, and there won't be any answer. The list is not going to be released. The findings of this department, this Justice Department, does not match its rhetoric. So now they're saying the opposite of what they said before they came in. So I think it's going to be nowhere. There is going to be no list released unless somebody comes in who actually, you know, is going to be honest and transparent about this. But we may have to wait till the next administration for that.
Vinoo Varghese, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.